Hi, hey, and all those other greetings, Spade Adventures. Welcome back to another Spade Gals Productions gaming and unboxing channel video with me, Jake Spins, who also owns and creates on the very original Spade Gals Original with Girlless Cyclones, Quincore Florali, and vlogs that you can all check out right now. There's a bunch of content on there, as well as more to come in the future. But today, we are going to continue the Tanooki Tale review series. Again, if you don't know what that is, it's basically my version of an unboxing series where I not only unbox it, but I try my best to give you guys as much information as I physically possibly can of my knowledge. Of course, there are certain things like Amiibo, such as Kid Icarus, that I just don't know about, so I don't give information. Now, that might lead you to believe this is some kind of Kid Icarus Uprising unboxing or something to that effect. But no, it has absolutely nothing to do with that, because you can breathe a deep sigh of relief if you are here for the Sonic content, because we are doing more Sonic unboxings since I am a huge Sonic collector. Now, the characters that we have are going to be very interesting because they are, first off, not made by the same company. They are two different plush, but they do fit very well together. Those two companies would be GE and Tomy. Feel free, I guess feeling free to guess wouldn't make sense because it would be in the title anyway. So I might as well show off the first character being Cream the Rabbit, which we will talk about first, and then we'll pull out the next character. Or, well, yeah, I'll do this first. So Cream the Rabbit was supposed to be in Sonic Heroes first. She was, you know, a flying character, very functional, very well used, but she was a very young child, you know, someone you wouldn't expect to be in an interlocking battle with just evil itself, which I know is kind of weird to say for Eggman, since sometimes he is very goofy and sometimes he's very serious. But she was originally used for Sonic Heroes, at least that was the concept, because her first appearance was Sonic Adventure 2. I'm guessing that game was ready first, and they took Cream from Sonic Heroes, saying, hey, why don't we give her some light, shed some light, give this other game some promotion. But by accident, they took her first appearance as a playable character, not even as a cameo. And sometime even around Sonic Heroes, she was added to Sonic Adventure DX, not as playable, but a cameo for any time a new scene pops up, you can see Cream flying over the sky. With Tails, you can actually fly up to her, which is really cool, and you can see her more detailed, seeing that she's not like a 2D sprite. She is actually a model, which is really nice for a little cameo, because they could have just put her high enough to where you couldn't fly up to her or see her. But I'm assuming if they didn't have Tails, maybe it wouldn't have been as polished. Either way, though, I feel like it's very cool that her first appearance was in 2002. I have some notes here, and that's pretty much all my notes. But as I was reading, and they did show concept art for this on the Sonic Twitter, they did mention the fact that Cream was not originally a rabbit. Cream was originally a fox. That looked like a squirrel, is what the article said, that had many tails. Now, if you're wondering, okay, well that's great, but what is Cream really all about now that you've said her origins? She's a very polite child, as I did mention before. She lives with her mom, being Vanilla the rabbit, and she travels around the world with Sonic. Sonic X she goes. You can see very much how naive and childish she can be, while also being very polite by giving people tea and saying please, thank you, all that kind of manner stuff, which is important for kids and adults as well. I probably should definitely work on my manners. That is definitely something I should do. But I kind of lost my train of thought when saying that. I know we're talking about Cream the Rabbit, but and in Sonic X, yeah. Okay, so Cream didn't really show up much after the Adventure series, which is kind of a bummer. Oh, But she did show up in the Sonic Rush series, but not in the sequel because Marina took that slot, which was probably based on the concept art of Cream, which is even more weird to think about. However, she ended up showing up as Blaze's companion, telling her, okay, this is what we're doing next, keeping the conversation going so that players knew what to do without Blaze looking a little crazy, being from a completely different dimension by herself and having no one to talk to. Cream was a very obvious choice. And of course, Sonic had Tails. Now in Forces, Cream did not show up, which is kind of a bummer. She has shown up in Forces Speed Battle. I don't know if Smash Brothers would mention that or not. Probably not, since it's an app game. But it's very, very hard to say. Now, one thing specific about Cream is that she has a companion, and we'll open these guys up after talking about them. Her companion is Cheese the Chow. Now, I don't believe there is Cheese the Chow plush. There is Cheese the Chow merchandise. By the way, that's made by GE, the Cream the Rabbit. But there is a figure, which I should have. I don't know if I do or I don't. I don't remember. I might have lost it. I might still have it. It's very hard to say. Well, a figure or two, actually. Yeah. But the closest thing is the Chao plush. A lot of people have been begging for more Chao content in games and merchandise. So the fact that Tomy stepped up and said, here's some Chao merchandise. Let's go. Let's have some fun. Let's put all the chips down and you guys can all freak out by this new thing is insane. Because it has been since the Adventure series, since we've had a freaking Chao plush. Neutral, Dark, and Hero. While we don't have the Hero plush coming, we do have the Dark Chao coming, which is awesome. So we'll probably see the Hero Chao at some point. Fingers crossed. But we have the Neutral Chao from the Adventure series, which Chao only shows up in the Adventure series. In the remakes as well, thank God, because if they cut them out of the remakes, it never would have been a part of my childhood. Funny enough, they showed up in 1998, 4 years before Cream the Rabbit even showed up, which a lot of people nowadays would probably associate her more with Chao than Chao itself, because she's been the rep. She's basically been the person that's saying, hey, Chao are still a thing. So that's definitely a good thing. But again, we haven't seen Cream in a little bit in a main game. But we do have these beautiful Chao. Oh yes, beautiful Chao. There were a few differences from the Adventure series on Dreamcast, as well as other consoles. This wasn't really that big of a changes for the gardens, and in Adventure there was a small overhaul giving them the black market where you could just go and buy stuff. Of course, if you don't know what Chao are, let me explain to you. Chao are these little creatures where you give them either animals to raise their stats, or you give them chaos drives, which are the same thing, just a little less fancy. There are still animals in the second Adventure game for Dreamcast, as well as Battle, but they aren't really that exciting compared to the animals. I'm sorry, their background noise just kind of threw me off a little bit. And there is a glitch to this. If you stand a certain distance apart and then give them to them, you can make it where it doesn't disappear. You can just keep giving them to them. And you might be like, okay, well that's great. So my Chao is now a penguin unicorn. What am I going to do with this? What you would do is you'd go to two separate modes. In the Adventure series, there are, well, technically, yeah, there's Chao Racing and there's Chao Karate. In Sonic Adventure, the first one, there's only Chao Racing. However, in Adventure 2, there's Chao Racing and Chao Karate in both Dreamcast and the sequel. Other changes to the Chao Garden were things such as drowning, because you could drown in the pools with certain characters in one of the adventure games. They changed that. However, Tails was still able to drown in the Hero Garden port, so that was kind of a bummer for poor little Tails. And of course, you could still drown in the pools because they were big enough, unless you were Gamma. Gamma didn't do that. Now, you might be like, okay, well, everybody loves these guys. You've got amazing concept art of these guys released. So where are they? Chao Garden has not shown up for as long as the Plush have not shown up. They were not in Sonic Heroes. They were not in Sonic 06, which would have been very interesting. I don't even know how they would have looked in Sonic 06. That would have been very weird. But the reason I mention those games as well as Shadow the Hedgehog is because those were in that same vein of context of how the worlds worked, which eventually got changed after that towards the more Unleashed style and colors, generations, like the boost mechanic type of levels that we see now, and no Chao Garden to be seen. I would literally take a Chao Garden in Team Sonic Racing. I would take a freaking Chao for Sonic Forces Speed Battle. By this point, we need a Chao Garden to come back. And they did a poll that asked us, hey, what do you want to see back? Chao Garden was on there. It was the most voted, of course, for like 64% or more. So hopefully we'll see that in the future, but it was just asking us. So it's very hard to say. Now, as I said, we are going to open Mrs. the Rabbit first. And I'm very, very excited. I know I'm a little bit tired, and I do apologize for that. But I have been having these for months, just waiting to open them. And it's a good thing I waited on these ones because I got the Chao one first. So I was able to get the cream one, which I know I talked about her first and opened her first. But I was in very, very big need for a new cream plush. I have only one, and while it's not demolished, it was part of the childhood, and we, you know, switched the females' dresses with Barbie doll dresses. Don't ask why. It was a very weird childhood experience that we did, so I don't know where her original dress is, and it wouldn't be sewed on. Either way, I'm going to take very, very good care of this cream plush. Now, one thing that I really, really like is the way her nose is. It's like a little chocolate chip. No, I'm kidding. I'm not going to lick her nose. She does have that nice little smile, which works very well for her because a smirk would be kind of weird. A regular smile would be nice, but that nice little touch just showing she's the happiest rabbit bunny you will ever see is just phenomenal. They have the nice little eyelash. It's not popping out, but that's probably a good thing that they just have painted on. So, granted, all of the details, they look very nice. They have her bow tie. Her dress isn't very fancy. It's, you know, it's just a red dress. It is a little short. I do kind of wish it was a little bit longer because she's 6. Just saying. And, of course, I'm not a big fan of this gold drawstring that lets you hang these up, but it's not a bad thing. You can't move around her ears because these are actually stitched on, meaning you have to be very careful with that. You have a nice little tail, and her shoes have that nice little yellow on them, as well as they have tongues on them, which are the part of the shoe that sticks out like that. Oh, sorry. Awkward angle. You've got the orange stuff, and of course, the buttons on her gloves. So again, not a very detailed character. However, there are those markings that do make her closer to someone like, not as close to Shadow, but somebody who would take a little bit more detail than a character like Sonic, but not take that much detail. So it's really nice that we finally have her as a newer model of a plush because she looks phenomenal, and I love the GE plush. Not to mention, she's proportionally correct, which is even more fantastic. So we're going to put her to the side. Now, in that weird saying, I mean, she could be a little bigger because, oddly enough, also, I did forget to mention, we do have on the touch tag her picture on it. Not for children under 15 years. Why? Okay, I'm not going to question that. That's a little strange. I guess because it's a collector's item, maybe? I don't know. It's not to play with, not to eat. You know? I do feel like I'm going to want to cut this off because this just looks bad. But the cool thing about the Chao is they added the dot on there. They could have easily said, you know what? We can't make that float. We're not going to add that. But they did what they did, I believe, in the other Chao plush, which they mounted it on the top of the head, which is so brilliant. Chao are very simple to design, which makes me question even more why we don't have more Chao plush. And cheese, you could just put a bow tie on this. You could make a nice little variant, have like only 100 available where he has a bow tie and cheese plush. There you go. That would be beautiful. Of course, they have all the details right. Unlike the figurine, where they had none of the colors, you have the yellow dot. You have the yellow on their hands. He's in a nice little T-pose. But he's like, looks like he could give you a hug and you can move his arms. And he's so cute. I love it. I'm like, just, he's so fluffy and soft, and I love it. I love the Chao. He also has the little yellow toesies, little yellow fingers, little yellow toesies, and he has the nice little pink wings so he can fly away, my Chao angel. He also has his nice little tail. Chaos don't wag their tails, but that would actually be a really adorable addition if they had that. Do they wag their tails? I'm not sure. If you are wondering, there are 2 ways to hatch Chao as well, being the way that children probably did when they were younger, by throwing the egg because they didn't know about the second way, us, and then the actual way, which is how I would do it now, is picking up the egg and rocking it back and forth, setting it down, and letting it hatch. So that's a nice little thing. Chaos can also come in very, very different colors. They have very big personalities, and a lot more is in Chao than you might think. So if you've never played the adventure games, if you've never played a Chao Garden, trust me, you'll love it. I have more hours in the Chao Garden, as probably so many people do, than I do playing the main stages. Which you do actually need to go to the main stages to go to it. So it probably like rivals it. It's probably like a little bit more or half, because these Chao are amazing. I've had at least 3 Sonic Chao, actually. I've had 3 Sonic Chaos, which is insane to think about. Well, actually, I had 2 Sonic Chaos and a Shadow Chao, so I've spent a lot of time. Anyway, though, these plush are an amazing combination. If you are not thinking about getting these guys, if you have the Cream the Rabbit plush, get the Chao plush. If you have the Chao plush, get the GE Cream plush. I don't know if you'll be able to find it because GE did lose their license for a year, because they didn't have it renewed or something, but they are going to have it renewed because so many people love this line, and it's a money maker for them. It's a beautiful line. It's my favorite line of Sonic plush. Either way, though, I definitely hope that you guys all loved this video, and if I did miss any facts or mess up any facts about the Chao or Cream, let me know in the comment section below. As well, let me know, what kind of Chao Garden would you want to see back? Well, the Chao Gardens, would you like to see them back? And if so, what new type of Chao would you like to see? Not necessarily stats, but there's Hero, Neutral, and Dark. Is there a different type that you'd like to see, like Chaotic or something like that? I don't know, and I don't mean like a Vector Chao, which would be very interesting. Either way, though, guys, I hope to see you guys later, and as the Chao would say, ciao, ciao, ciao. Ciao. Yep, it's the end of the video, and you're staring directly into a Chao's face. Huh, now that I think about it, Chao's this King Kong. That'd be interesting. Oh, another thing I didn't mention was in the Sonic Adventure DX, there was signs. I believe Sonic Adventure 2 had this too, where there was the Chaos in space. I think Chaos even cameoed in there, so it's pretty cool. You guys should definitely check out those cameos. Either way, though, just stare into the Chao's eyes as I keep hitting the camera with it. Because that's what you're supposed to do with a Chao face. Yeah, this is awkward. Okay, I'm going to leave now.